Okay, Angela, start.
Good evening, everybody. I'm delighted to welcome you on this wonderful, fun Friday evening to the online Toastmasters of Singapore. We often see signs in Singapore about the pioneer generation. Well, you, I, and everybody here, we are a pioneer generation doing an online meeting. I will now hand you over to our President, Willie Lowe.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening on the online Singapore Online English Toastmaster Club. Have you, okay, many of us have been to interview, am I right? Whether face-to-face or online. Okay, let me share you a story. Okay, so some of you have wondered why you cannot get past the interview, or the interview just ended 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Do anyone of you know why? For me, I have been through so many technical interview because I work in the IT field. Okay, the most recent interview I went was yesterday, and did I get the job or did the interview proceed? The answer is no. Why? Because I did not sound, I did not have a call to action. Why so? Because I was talking about my health history, and then after the interview, the headhunter, the interviewer give a feedback to the headhunter, say that because I be talking about myself, I did not measure about what is my experience. I did not explain more of what is my experience and what benefit I can sell, I can bring over to the new company. In the end, do you know how much is the role that I interview for? It's 120K per annum. This means that I will be moving for just a junior manager to a C-level. It's a big jump. So Toastmasters have been asking us to get to the point, but they never tell us to sell the benefits, what we can. So Singapore Online Club is different for a physical club because we must learn how to be the best, to get the point, and to be something different for a physical club, and then sell the benefits of what is an online club does. So fellow Toastmasters, I hope that tonight, most of your speech, we have two parts. The benefits of what is your purpose of your speech, what does you want to sell, and what is the call to action. I hope all these three parts will be part of your speech tonight, and I look forward to hear from you soon. Back to you, Angela.
Thank you, Willie. That is so useful. So the first thing that you should do is, in your benefit, is to introduce yourself and explain what benefit you can be to others. So I shall introduce myself to everybody here. My name is Angela Lansbury. This year I am president of Bradle Heights Advanced Club in Singapore. It's one of half a dozen advanced clubs run by advanced speakers, by people who want to advance, take part in contests and succeed in life, not merely overcome fear and start speaking, but to advance. My second job is as area director, looking after 6 clubs and seeing that they are improving and getting all the help they need. Finally, I'm sure you'd be interested to know that I'm an author of 20 books, and one of them was Wedding Speeches and Toasts. And I have a new book coming out, which I just put up online today on Improve Your English. I'm delighted to be here with you tonight and look forward to hearing all your wonderful speeches and your impromptu ideas on the subject of the evening. I shall now hand back to Willie, who will tell us who is on next on the program, which I believe will be table topics. Over to you, Willie.
It should be Gerald, who is the table topic master, not me.
I'm looking for him online. Let me just move my cursor across the screen.
Okay.
Hello, I have online Uncle Turkey. Are you the table topics master?
Yes, Uncle Turkey is table topic master today. We're going
Right,
to start.
may I ask you to introduce yourself to everybody, because the people overseas and the viewers might not know you.
Okay. Hello everybody. I'm Gerald. I'm a distinguished Toastmaster based in Toa Payoh South CC and Senja Cashew CC. Concurrently, I'm playing a PR role in division councils and admin manager role. So, table topics. Now it's time for me to briefly pull up my slides and warm up everybody. Dennis will be doing something unusual today. We have a change in program today, which is we will have a table topics evaluation. So after every speaker, we will have an evaluation of table topics. And I'm going to share my screen so that everybody can see what is the PowerPoint. Okay. So today's, you will see what is table topic. So, okay, let me go to my second slide. So this is about impromptu speaking, and we are going to have a very fun time. So there are 20 questions. Okay, timing always really will do 1 minute green, 1.5 minutes yellow, 2 minutes red, 2:30 you hear something. You can time yourself even better. Okay. Okay, so that's my questions. Okay, so those you have 20 questions to tackle, and how are we going to sort it out? Okay, really we'll do a spotlight on who is the one going to speak for the session. And so table topics just happen like that, and it happens differently around the world. So Australia District 70 use a 1 minute table topic for every speech in a physical meeting. So this is how you can tackle. You tackle my topics are designed to be answered in a few ways. You can use the Oreo, opinion, reason, example, opinion. That is one way. Second method to answer my questions are using storytelling with imagination. Because always I'm a Lego person, so I use a lot of imagination in my work. So my question, a lot of imagination. Those in Singapore who have seen my questions, they are notoriously known to be interesting in its own way. So may I ask our president to stand by the spotlight on someone? Okay, we have questions 1 to 20. Feel free to take a choose which one. By the way, my questions difficulty are not in ascending order, not in descending order, they are in random. So the most difficult question is hiding somewhere, is funneled somewhere. So you're going to go and discover which point of my list is being planned. Okay, most Toastmasters have a habit of finding the trends of every question where they are being placed at in the design of a table topic. My questions are randomized to a certain extent, and there is no way that the chances of you guessing my hard questions roughly can be discovered. My easy question can be roughly discovered. So today my questions are based on my brain flow today. So I've created based on my flow on my mind, how they come up, and you can have fun. And now let's start with the table topics. Okay, so we have 20 questions as usual. You always start with 20. You always have 20 questions. In my physical meeting, I go up to about 60 questions. So that's how scary my number of questions go. Okay. Anyway, yes.
Okay.
Yes, really. You want to do your spotlight?
Done. First one is Hendrik.
I don't see myself here, but I take number 17.
17. Oh, don't forget, the theme is winter is coming. And Hendrik, the topic is, what will you do if you are left alone on an island full of snowmen?
What would you do if you are left alone?
Alone on an island full of snowmen.
Full of snowmen. Oh my God. It depends on. Snowman can be nice. Snowman can be bad. We have only heard of snowmen in the fairy tales. the big ones who's big. But we can have a scotch on the rocks maybe and drinking us drunk. We can speak about the weather. We can speak about that something that could improve. That we can have a table topics too. If something, maybe we're not speaking the same language, but at least we can see each other's gesture. But the thing is, as long as we understand each other, we can take the whole world together, and we can speak. The whole world can be our friends. But of course, I'm alone, and I have 2 snowmen, and of course, I like to get home someday too. But can they get me home? I have no idea. But that's another table topics. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster, table topic master.
Thank you, Hendrik. Thank you, Hendrik.
Let's have a guess. So go be surprised if you ask me spotlight.
Okay.
Lisa.
I should unmute. Okay, mute. You unmute.
Okay. Lisa, choose a question.
Oh, okay.
17 is selected by Henrik already.
Mm-hmm. I will go with table topic 8.
8? Serious? Okay, let's see. Winter is coming around town.
So, what the topic? So, this is the topic, right?
Yeah, this is the topic. That's all. Over to you.
Yeah. So that's it. This is the topic. Okay, winter is coming right time. Yeah, I think this is the perfect time to talk about the winter, because it's December and we are all waiting a Christmas party or Christmas day. So, but here actually living in Singapore, I don't feel winter at all, and today is a rainy day. It's cold outside, but it's still quite warm here. So that's why I don't feel that winter is here, and I don't feel that I don't feel any Christmas celebrations. I don't feel any New Year. That the New Year is coming, so I feel a bit. Maybe let's say depressed, depressed about this. Just and hope that. Maybe all of us have different understanding of the winter, but for me winter is when it's snowy outside and it's minus 20 degrees and everyone is drinking hot water or hot cacao at home. And but here in Singapore I don't feel like this, so it's I don't feel that winter is coming here in my town, at least where I live now. So yeah, this is my thank you.
Okay, thanks Lisa for your sharing. Okay, Willis, your duty to do.
What?
Really is in charge of spotlight. Can you do the next spotlight?
Oh, okay.
Okay, thanks Lisa for your sharing.
Kim, you are next.
Okay.
J.
No,
J1.
Kim.
Okay.
So
Kim.
we have introductions to the topic speakers.
No need. Table
No.
topic. Only speaker.
Okay, which question you want?
Let's try 14.
14. Okay. The winter season is so chilly that it made me fall asleep like a log cake.
Oh, yeah, it sounds like, okay. The winter season is so chilly that it made me fall asleep like a log cake. Though we do not have winter season in Singapore, but I feel very chilly these days. And I feel like falling asleep soon as well. But this Toastmasters is keeping me up because it's so warm and cozy. So cold and cozy. Yeah, so in I experienced winter when I was in Korea for my holidays. It was an amazing experience for me. I prefer warm compared to cold, so I felt that it is quite torturing in one sense, because I have to put on layers and layers of clothes when I'm out shopping and in the street of Korea. And when I'm back into a shop, I have to remove pieces and layers of clothes. And indeed, cold winter makes it chilly, and I always feel like the best time to sleep is when it's raining, it's cold, it's so comforting. I could just pull my comforter over me and I could sleep like a log. With that, thank you.
Thanks, Kim. Willie, next person. Thanks for your sharing on the log cake. Sleeping like a log cake. Yes, next one.
Okay. Let me try a member. J.
Is J in? J is away. Oh, J is in. Okay, J, what question do we want?
I'll take number 5.
Number 5, okay. I dream of eating turkey all day long in this freezing winter.
Oh my God. I'm a vegetarian and you're talking about eating turkey. I just can't bear that sight. I just can't feel about it. But yeah, those who love eating turkey, I know what they feel like, and I'm happy to watch them enjoy eating turkey all day long in the freezing winter. However, it's not my dream. My dream is to sleep all day long if it is winter. And in Bangalore, we do get few days of winter. We don't get extended winter, but we do have winter. And having lived in Delhi, which is quite cold, I quite enjoy the winter. And yeah, about eating, there's lots of food. India is plenty of spicy food, which I love, and I love cooking. So winter is very, very enjoyable, whether it is turkey or whether it is no turkey. Over to you, Toastmasters.
Thanks, Jay. Okay, for your sharing about the turkey, although you are vegetarian, yes, I know from your region. Okay, Willie, next spotlight.
Okay, Rapio.
Rapid. Okay,
Yeah.
question number.
I think I've unmuted. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, let me go for number 15.
15?
Yes.
15, okay. Okay. Monkey and donkey discuss the best opportunity in winter. What opportunity were they discussing about?
Okay, monkeys and donkeys discuss the best opportunity in winter. What opportunity were they discussing about? Okay, so I am assuming me and my sisters as monkeys and donkeys. So since I'm planning to leave for Delhi for vacations, which is my hometown, and it's going to be severe cold this year. It's already winter season in Delhi. So we have an upcoming function coming in our family, and we were discussing about, the monkeys and donkeys were discussing about the clothes that they're going to wear, the matching footwear that they're going to wear, and how to plan the rest of the vacation. Because Delhi is the time, winter is the time when you get to dress up in your the best of dresses, because you get to wear your coats, you get to wear your boots, you get to wear your gloves, your cap. So this was what we were discussing, and monkeys and donkeys had a blast time today, as they had a good conference call for about an hour discussing about these things. Over to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Rapid. Hope you have a fun take with it, with my questions.
I had lots of fun.
Okay. Really?
Angela, you are being spotlight.
Okay. Angela, which question?
Question 7, please.
Question 7. Okay. Okay, this is the longest question in the bunch of table topics. Ham, turkey, sausages, nuggets, fries, and the ice cold beer are the things we see during winter. Which one do you prefer and why?
Very easy question to answer. Thank you for that. Turkey, obviously. All the other things we are told nowadays are bad for our health. Ham is salted. Sausages are made of reconstituted meat. A member of my family once worked in a sausage factory and saw that every bit of the animal was put into the sausage. Now, I know the Chinese eat everything that moves except, and everything with 4 legs except the table, but sausages with, well, you can imagine what went in there. So nobody in the family would eat sausages for months. Nuggets. Well, nuggets are nice pieces of poultry which are deep fried. So we're told that is bad for you, and fries are also told are bad for you. Now, very often when you're in your 20s and 30s, you don't bother about health because you're young and you feel healthy, and being elderly and dying is a long time away. Then as you get older, you find that the older generation are getting sick and are getting put on healthy diets, and gradually the message about eating healthily has started to filter down, and it's becoming a worldwide concern. Ice cold beer is not suitable for me. I have trouble staying awake at the best of times, and I need water to rehydrate. So all in all, turkey, it seems to me, the best of the options. Your options here are not offering much to our vegan friends, but let's hope that the turkey offering on the buffet, that this is obviously in a hotel, there's so much choice. Let's hope that the turkey offered, we also have vegan turkey, which looks like turkey, but isn't real turkey, so that they've got something too. So all in all, I will go for the turkey and offer my vegan friends vegan turkey. And then I think we'll all be healthy and happy. Thank you.
Thanks, Angela, for your sharing. Very nice take on the ham turkey. Heads up to everybody. This is a typical question asked in many years ago in one of the district contests in worldwide. It happens that they ask about the 5 senses of the brain. So this is a modified version, and this is the only question that is modified to this standard. Okay, really your turn to spotlight the next person. Really, next person to spotlight. Okay, anybody else? Pallavi?
Pallavi is not online.
Pallavi is not. Anybody else? Okay, looks like all has done it. Okay, I'll hand over to the evaluator to take over this whole. Okay. Oh, Pallavi is ready. Okay, does Pallavi want to do the table topic?
Yeah, I can give it a try. Can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you.
Okay, because my screen is showing as mute sign on my screen. Fine.
Okay.
So,
okay, can you see my screen sharing?
Not yet.
Can you see? Can you see the screen sharing? Not yet.
No.
Okay, I tell you what. There's one to. I read out in audio for you. Okay, yeah. The numbers taken from 1 to 20 are 5, 7, 8, 14, 15, 17.
Okay, I'll try 12. I hope so. It's a good one.
12. Okay. 12. The topic is I'm always looking out for something within the snow in this freezing winter. I am always looking out for something within the snow in this freezing winter. Pallavi, yes.
Okay, good evening, Toastmasters across the world and in Singapore. I'm looking about something in this freezing, white, snowy winter, right?
Yes.
Okay, I think there would be plenty of things that I would like to explore because white is one of my favorite colors, and when the snow is all around, I think the first thing that I get is a cool, soothing feeling because white is a color of purity. It is so soothing that it gives immense calmness to me, such that even when I want to dress up myself, I look for white color clothes, even though it is not considered auspicious for a married woman to wear white clothes. So when it is first, the thing was about white color. Next, it's about the snow. So when the white snow is all around me, what do I explore? Now, since it would be very freezing, I would like to do many things. I would first of all try a hands-on activity where I would build my very first snowman. After building my very first snowman, I'll bring my boys along with me and we'll play with those snowmen. Next would be, since it's freezing winter and since Angela said that turkey would be a good option to celebrate the festive spirit, the next thing in my agenda would be to bring a turkey or a chicken and cook my various delicious recipes that I really love. And I think with Singapore right now, there's plenty of rains, not snow instead, but plenty of rain. So it's raining a lot. And as a result, the weather is not so chilling, but it's pleasantly cool. And day before yesterday, to enjoy this pleasantly cool weather, I brought chicken and we made several of our favorite recipes. And I said to my husband that the weather is such a nice weather that it feels like having kebab and paratha. So we brought minced chicken, I made kebab, and not only that, we made keema paratha as well. And after such long time, it was really nice to have those delicious meals and enjoy the chilling, not so chilling, but yes, cool so-called winters of Singapore. And I hope so all of you are also enjoying the rainy season and the winter season of Singapore and definitely trying out your favorite delicacies during this festive season. Thank you.
Thanks, Pallavi. Okay. Okay, really? Anybody else we have?
No. Okay.
No. Okay. No
So-
more.
So anyway, everyone qualified.
Anybody qualify? Okay. Now I had. Okay, Danny.
Activate the voting because I'm using mobile, so I cannot activate. But
Okay.
every name is there.
Okay, I launched the poll. Please cast your vote. We are waiting for nine votes to be in. Please cast your votes. All have been qualified.
Sorry, why the submit button doesn't work?
Hello?
Submit button doesn't work. I mean, I tried to
Yeah, the
submit.
8, 9, and 10 were, I mean, there are no names.
It's okay because there's up to only 1 to 7 participants.
Mm.
Okay, now let me find my mouse. Where my mouse went to?
Yeah, the submit button doesn't work for me as well.
Yeah, the submit
Not
doesn't
working
work.
for me
Yeah,
either.
the submit button is not working, I think.
Let me try. Let me do a magic. I just need.
Wait.
Never mind. I know what to do.
11.
Okay.
Try again.
Oh,
Can or cannot? If not, I will have to do it again.
I
Press
pressed on 11 and it worked.
press on 11. That's
So
the
you
Weird.
put 11
One.
to
So you have to pick
20
something from each list.
press
Yeah.
on 1 then it will. Okay.
I will.
Yes. Okay. The votes are coming in. 3 more votes to go.
I need to step out for one.
I think I submitted, I'm not sure.
Never mind. We'll see the vote. We'll get to see the vote.
You will see the votes coming in. Don't worry.
you submit.
Yes, submitted. There's 2 more persons not submitted.
It doesn't work for me, so
I don't know if mine has gone through or not. I mean,
Okay.
I submitted.
Never mind. We will count the number of people. We'll know whether you got submit or not.
Yeah, is attendees are viewing questions. Okay, last minute to go. Last minute for votes. You know, really? Can we close the votes?
Yeah, good. That's good.
Okay. Okay, you're going to end the poll. Okay. Okay. Now I hand over the control to Dennis, who will do the evaluation of all the table topics.
No. Back to
Angela first. Okay.
Angela to Dennis.
Okay. Okay. Angela first. Okay. Uncle Turkey will hand over to Angela, the Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you very much, Uncle Turkey, for those very interesting topical table topics. They were in the moment, they were topical, seasonal, and yet they were original and interesting. I enjoyed mine and I enjoyed hearing the others. Congratulations. A round of applause to all our speakers. Thank you. Now we will pass over to our evaluator. I've asked him to introduce himself so we know who he is. That would be lovely. Thank you.
All right, I'm Dennis Ham. I live in the United States. I'm in Central California, District 33. Been a member of Toastmasters for over 30 years and been a member of, currently I'm a member of 4 clubs, which includes this one. I'm a vice president of education in 2 of them and president in the 3rd one. Toastmasters got me started, or I got started in Toastmasters because I did poorly on a job interview. And since then, I have moved up through all the Toastmaster ranks all the way up to being a district governor. And I'll go ahead and evaluate the table topics for you today. Table topics is quite interesting in that a lot of us have to, well, all of us have to speak on an impromptu basis. So what I did tonight, this is how I evaluated everybody. I first looked at the amount of thinking time that you had or that you took. I looked to see if there was any kind of an opening body or conclusion for your presentation. I looked to see if you spoke on topic and how long you took and anything else that I could look at. It's a little bit difficult to evaluate everybody in a very short amount of time, so these evaluations are very brief. Henrik was the first speaker. He didn't take any time to think about the speech. He moved right along into it, and he did speak on topic. And his main focus, his driving focus was going from being on the island to getting me home, and that's kind of how he took his question. Lisa took just a little bit of time to think about her presentation. I'm going to just say everybody had pretty much an opening body conclusion. Lisa spoke pretty much on topic and talked about the winter and then talked about being the winter in Singapore. Let's see, Kim took her topic and spoke pretty much on topic, talked a little bit about winter in Korea and talked about how winter it's easier to sleep when it's cold. See, Jay spun his a little bit. He didn't take much time he didn't take any time to think about it, but he kind of switched it. He didn't quite talk on topic, and he talked about eating turkey. Let's see, Ramapreet had fun with her topic, spoke for just a little over a minute, spoke about clothing and how the donkey and monkey were talking about clothing. See, Angela didn't take any time thinking about the topic and spoke about how things were. She took all of the different foods and picked the ones that were healthy, and that was basically the theme of her presentation. Palaviv didn't take any time thinking about it and spoke on topic and talked about the white, snow and white being her favorite color, and talked about food. So everybody pretty much spoke on topic and did pretty well on table topics, and that's how I evaluate table topics for tonight. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much for that analysis, because very often in Singapore we don't have the opportunity to hear an analysis of table topics. In London, the 2 clubs I belonged to until very recently, I still belong to one, they always have an analysis of the table topics. So that's very helpful for beginners to know. So thank you for that. I didn't catch what my time was. I didn't see my time. Do you have a record of that, Dennis?
I timed you at just a little over 2 minutes, 2:05.
Oh, thank you. Good. So that was very interesting. We will now be moving on to our next section, which is prepared speeches. And I'll go back to Willie, who will be in charge of selecting the speakers. And I would like to ask each speaker to introduce themselves so that we can all hear in their own words who they are and what they're proud of. Thank you.
Okay. We have a timeout signal from Willie.
Break.
Ah, we're having a break.
10 minutes break. 10 o'clock rejoin.
Good. See you shortly. And don't forget to switch off the sound if you're doing anything exciting.
Okay. Go to washroom, whatever. I will pause the recording.
Okay.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the second half of our wonderful online Singapore English Toastmasters. Our next speaker, I believe, is Jay, who is speaker number 1. And I would like him to announce his title and the purpose of his project. Over to you, Jay.
My topic is a slice of my life, and I'm attempting icebreaker for my 4th path, visionary communications.
And the timing of this section is?
Is 4 to 6 minutes.
Thank you very much. If Willie is ready, we can go ahead.
The eraser is our say yes, Thomas the Train.
Thomas, I can see, has a toy with him. Thomas is a very seasoned speaker, a smiley speaker. He gives lots of workshops. He wins lots of prizes for evaluations. So we're really looking forward to his evaluation of this project.
Diesel with pepper or salt.
Okay. So I will spotlight on Jay and he can start his speech. And I think you have to time because I will be in charge of the speaker. I will. Okay, Jay, please start the speech. Forget about the meaning for today. Let's keep it with what you're supposed to speak. That's all.
How many of you have been a part of a military training? How many of you have handled a rifle? Any of you who are motorcycle enthusiasts, who have love for adventure? My life has been full of various adventures and misadventures. I was born 66 years ago, and I'm going to give you a very small slice of my adventurous life. I was born in a poor family. My father and mother both were government servants, and I completed my education by merit and merit cum poverty scholarships and freeships in the college. As soon as I finished my college, I got my first job in a village branch of a bank, and my job was to mobilize deposits and also do recoveries. We used to have targets, and the target was steep. It was a new branch, and I had a new boss. What we would do was we would scout for rich farmers and set up appointments. In one such visit, we went on our bike because I had a love for bikes, and I was a rally champion driving 500 to 1,000 kilometers on rally and would win championships. We went to that village and we met the farmer. The farmer had a very large story house, but it was very old and dilapidated. As we walked through the stairs, we were taken to a terrace, and along the way, I saw very nice decoration inside. Outside, the house was very, very old. I saw a big collection of guns, and I also saw a lot of animal trophies because the farmer was a hunter. As we entered, and I started admiring the guns because in my military training I was a marksman. I asked him about various guns, and he started showing me his, precious antique collection. Many of the guns were from World War One and World War Two period. Some of them had, they would uh, fill the barrel from the top. As he saw my interest into guns, he asked me whether he would like to try one of the guns. I said, yeah, why not? So we went up to the terrace, and there was a 30 feet distant wall where there was a small window kind of thing where there was a lamp kept. And this farmer kept a matchbox which had a key as a label. And he said, can you hit that keyhole with a .22 rifle from a 30-foot distance? And I said, yeah, let me try. So he brought me a .22 rifle, which was quite heavy because it was old. As I started taking aim, learning all my lessons of holding, aiming, and doing the trigger operation, I realized that I can't shoot. I cannot meet the bullseye. So I returned the gun. The farmer was surprised. He said, what happened? He said, the gun sight is not well set. It's broken. He understood, and he brought a new gun. And then I said, I have not been in practice. My boss was very, very touchy. He wanted me to shoot and win all the deposit that rich farmer wanted to give. So there was a lot of push. There was a lot of feeling of excitement that if I win this, I will get my branch target met. And I took that gun and aimed. 30 foot away, I was barely able to see the key, not the keyhole, but I still tried, aimed, and by God's grace, I hit the bullseye. Next day, the farmer came and he gave us the deposit. We met the target. We were all very happy. It was one slice of adventure. Along the way, I had love for speed, and I would go on speeding bikes at a very, very high speed on the roads which were permitted or into rallies where endurance test was very, very important. And those were 500 to 1,000 kilometer rallies. That was some 46 years ago. Life had its own adventures. And now, of course, I have slowed down. But in my path in Toastmasters, I'm still fast. I'm just 15 months old, and I have completed 3 paths. I'm going for the 4th. And along the way, I'm also teaching in a school where we are starting the YLP program and also the speechcraft program. Tomorrow, we are launching a club in one of the colleges where I used to go and teach. And that's my contribution towards Toastmasters. And that's what is my current passion. So life is full of adventures. There are small pleasures we arrive, small pleasures we derive, and we love them. We cherish those memories all our life. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Yay! Woo!
Thank you so much for that wonderful story of your life. We can now see exactly where you've come from, where you've been, and what you enjoy. We will now move on to our second speaker. We will have the evaluations at the end. Am I right, Willie?
Yeah.
So who is our second speaker? I can't see on the list.
That's me, I think, Ramantri, if I'm not wrong.
Pallavi? speaker.
I asked for agenda. I think it was me.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Pallavi, please come in and tell us your project and your title. The evaluator. Where's the evaluator?
The evaluator is Aaron. So Aaron is coming late. So let's change to Pallavi first.
Okay. Over to Pallavi.
Yeah.
Pallavi, come in and tell us your project and your speech title and how long it is.
Hi, Pallavi.
The evaluator is Hendrik. Hendrik, you're an evaluator.
Pallavi, unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, very good.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. My name is Pallavi Singh. I'm from Punggol Park Toastmasters Club, and I am currently doing my Advanced Communication Silver Series. I'm using the manual Speaking to Inform, and this is my project 2. The title of my presentation would be Online Presentation Stardom, and the time is 5 to 7 minutes. So, Willie and Angela, can I start my presentation? That was the intro part that Angela mentioned.
Yes, if Willie will give us the time, thank you. And Peter's putting up the timing so you can see. What is the length of your speech? Is it the usual 5 to 7?
Yes, it's 5 to 7 minutes, Angela.
Thank you. So Peter will show you 5, 6, and 7. Pallavi, can you see Peter's timer in the window?
Yes, I can see.
Good. Well, you can start as soon as you're ready.
The evaluator is Hendrik. Hendrik.
Let me see Hendrik. Where's Hendrik?
Here I am.
Hello, Hendrik. Hendrik, what have you to tell us?
Well, I'm Henrik. I'm living in the north cold country in the north, Sweden, where we in some parts have snowstorm and big snowmen coming, but not in my place. I have very strange weather here. I've been a Toastmasters in 2013, and right now I belong to a place, but I will be a member of a couple of clubs more. And I like to be here because you are so friendly and so good atmosphere in this club. So that's why it's very good too. And I learn so much from everyone here. And that's very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And what are you looking for in this speech? What will you, and what should we be looking for?
Well, let me see. What should objectives will analyze your audience regarding your chosen subject. Focus on your presentation at the audience level of knowledge. Building a supporting case for each major point using information gathered through research. Effectively use at least one visual aid to enhance the audience understanding. 5 to 7 minutes.
And do we know the title of the speech?
I don't know the title. I didn't hear it.
Okay, so
it's online
presentation startup.
Yes.
Okay, over to you, speaker. You may start when you're ready.
Everyone, please close your eyes for a second and imagine you are in a big hall on a big stage. And in front of you is a huge applauding crowd. And you are just about to start your speech. But the moment you open your eyes, the stage is gone. The audience is gone. And everything has shrunk behind this tiny camera in front of you on your laptop or on your mobile. Now, grappling with fear and uncertainty, we think, what should we do and how should we do? Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Necessity is the mother of invention, and I guess all of you will agree. Public speaking being the #1 fear in the entire world, was dealt quite smartly by launching Toastmasters International. And quite truly, we all succeeded in overcoming our public speaking fear. But there are challenges on the way. So as a result, there were few members and guests who faced certain more challenges. And to remove those challenges, we came up with a new invention, online Toastmasters. And with the last few months speeches that we have been making, we have seen that there are some teething problems that we face. Whenever we make certain speeches, we have some technical glitches, we have some camera problem, and we have some speech delivery problem. So what should we do? So here we see that there is a shift from public speaking to online speaking or online presentation mastery. And what is the call for the moment? The call for the moment is online presentation stardom. And for that, I would take all of you to my presentation slide where I'll share this. So today I'll be talking about online presentation stardom. How can we achieve this? Because that is the moment, that is the thing that we require. How we can become a presentation superstar. So to sum up everything, I have 7 tips for the presentation stardom that we all need to achieve and acquire and master so that we can become the master on this online platform. First, being the structure. Second, the presentation aids. Once the presentation aids is done, we are supposed to look into our location, the audience and the camera placement, the lighting and the attire. So first, I won't speak much about structure because we all are good speakers indeed. We know that the structure of any public speaking speech should have an introduction, which is called as a wow factor. The wow factor helps in building the audience attraction towards us. It is something which builds a credibility in the speaker for the audience, and then the audience is hooked up to listen to the speaker because somewhere the speaker tells that, okay, I have something for you and you can benefit by it. And in the body, we structure the entire speech, and finally, in conclusion, we summarize everything. So we all are already expert in this. And once the structure is done, what do we look for? We look for presentation aid. The presentation aid that we use can be pictures, text, slides, even audio mails or video shared. But we should always remember that whenever we use visual aids, it should be very clear, impactful, and memorable one, so that even when the speech is gone, the presentation slides are there in our memory as a recall factor. And when we use the presentation devices, we should be very careful that when using the presentation slides, we should never read out the slides or turn our face behind, because we would never like the audience to see our back. So that is a strictly no-no. Moving forward, once the structure is done, the presentation aids are done, next thing that we have to look really upon is the location from where we are giving our speech. It should not be too crowded to again act as a distraction. Second, the windows should not be open so that there is audio that we can hear from the backdrop, like you might have witnessed just now in my video as well. So these are the strict no-nos that we should always avoid. We should always look for a quiet background or a room where there is not much of disruption or noise to distract the audience. Another thing that we need to take care while we are checking our location is that the backdrop should not be flashy, because it will disguise the image of the person. And secondly, we should also be very careful that you can see in the slide over here that the background of that person is so flashy that the image is almost shadowed and the audience cannot see what you are trying to show. Even the facial expressions are not clear. Next is the audience and camera placement. Whenever we give an online speech, placing of the camera is very important. In a few past speeches, I realized that even though I'm looking at the audience in camera online, I'm not actually facing the camera. So when we are on a real platform on stage, we are not supposed to look at the camera, but we are supposed to look at the audience. But when we are on an online platform, we are not supposed to look at the audience. Rather, we should focus on the camera that is right in front of us so that the audience may believe and may perceive that yes, the speaker is looking to them and the speaker is addressing to them. And once the audience is properly placed and the camera is properly placed, you are good to go and deliver your speech. The most important factor next is the lighting. Even in our previous sessions, we have noticed, and even today, if you scroll the gallery, you can see that the various audience screens are differently seen. The screen should be like the first picture. The light should be placed at 45-degree angle from your face. If the lights are placed at 45-degree angle from your face is properly lighted and can be seen quite well. If you have a bright light behind you, again, you have been shadowed and your image is not clear, so the audience on screen cannot see your facial expressions, or even the evaluator cannot see your facial expressions. Another thing that we need to take care in the lighting part is the light should not be on one of the sides, because if you see the first clip, you can see there's a light flashing on the person's face. Rather, it should be, as I said earlier, 45-degree angles, and it should flash on both the sides so that the visibility from both the sides is quite clear. I wouldn't like to take the name of the person, but you can see certain people have their light flashed on the face. As a result, the entire face is glistening and the visibility is not so good. Last thing that we should take into consideration is the background should not be flashy, like we should not have glasses and mirrors, because it will reflect on the screen. And last but not the least, attire plays a very important role. Your attire complements the speech, and it shows that you have really given a thought to the audience. So you should be very careful when you choose your attire. It should not be casual, and you should avoid wearing stripes because it gives a vibration effect. Likewise, you should not wear the same background shirts or costume or very flashy one, because again, that will act as distraction. And once the attire is done, you should choose a bold color which gives you a distinct presence on the stage, and then you are good to go and deliver your speech. Last but not the least, whenever you give your delivery, you should be extemporaneous. You have prepared your speech, so you do not need to look into anything, and definitely there should be no ahs and no ums. And once you master all these things, I definitely promise you that you will be a presentation superstar very soon. I hope I am mastering myself a bit by bit. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pallavi,
Lovely
for
speech.
excellent and useful presentation.
Thank you, Angela.
That. Now we will go back to Willie Lowe, who will tell us who is on next. I think we get the timer to tell us how long that was.
Okay, the next speaker is Shashan, because error is the evaluator is not here yet. Alicia is already here already. Okay, so
Okay.
the next speaker is Shashan, and she's doing a project for engaging human tree, building a social media presence. Shashan, give us your introduction.
Okay, this is actually a level 4 elective, building a social media presence. And the title of my speech is I'm not a social media person. Anything else that you need me to say?
The evaluator is Alicia Cha. So Alicia, give us your one-liner introduction and your purpose statement.
The purpose of this project is to apply your understanding of social media to enhance and establish a new social media presence. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Okay, Angela, back to you.
Thank you, Alicia.
What is the timing for
5
this?
to 7
5
minutes.
to 7 minutes.
So, Shanchan, are you ready to go?
Yes.
Right, I'll give
Nice
you a
t-shirt.
count to 3. 1, 2, 3.
Now, how many of you have Facebook account, Instagram account, Twitter accounts?
Yes.
And how
Me.
many? Wow, that's
Yes, Gerald Ong confirm have.
Angela confirmed.
all right. You see, for me, when Facebook was first started, I didn't really get into the bandwagon of social media. What I did was wait, saw, went onto it, set up account, and didn't post until about say 2014, where I had my very first work trip. That is when I started posting photos of my work trip. But I didn't really post a lot of photos because after work trip, I didn't post any for work trip, personal photos, personal travels. Didn't really post much. So every time you see me online, it's either I like the photos, I just want to see who are online. That's all. So I didn't really post much. When you see me very actively online on Facebook or Instagram, that is where I'm on my travels. That means I'll be regularly posting what is on the meals, what is the holiday destination and all that. And as the trend now, the camera eats the food first before we take the food physically, right?
True.
Correct?
That's true.
So every time you see, especially when you travel with your parents, you tell them, wait, the camera has to eat first. They will look at you. Huh? So whenever I post travel photos, I see how many likes I can get on which type of photos triggers the most like. Aside from work photos, I also started to try to post up some of the chapter meetings from my physical club, the Astro at Radima, some of the photos there. So some of the photos on the chapter meetings, or nowadays I will try to make it into a video slideshow format, and then I'll submit it and I'll just post it up into the our Radima's Facebook page. Now, how many of you gets comments from your friends when you post up that you have checked into Changi Airport trying to fly to somewhere else already?
Yeah, I got.
Like for example, there's one year I posted that I checked into Changi Airport. I got a comment that, huh, you're traveling again? Why this comment, traveling again? Because this came from my tour group that I was with the month before in the same destination. And that year, I actually traveled to South Korea, spring, summer, autumn, winter, all 4 seasons in 1 year. That is the reason why the comment, traveling again, huh? Every month was traveling to the same destination. That's the life of a travel agent plus tour manager or tour leader. Now, social media social media has also helped us to connect to people. And coincidentally, I actually connected with a primary school friend that we had not really met since 1994. And that day she walked into my outlet wanting to travel somewhere. And the moment she sat down, we look at each other, we just look at each other. We didn't connect that we were on Facebook together. You see, we just look at each other. You stare at me, I stare at you. And finally we realized that, oh, we are from the same primary school. But we haven't talked to each other since 1994. And now it's already 2019. Can you imagine how long we haven't seen each other except on social media? So social media connects people. And for me is that I like to see what's going on the social media, but I don't really like to post up or post up anything. So what we want to do is actually to gain a social media presence, which is what I want to try to do this year, to get more online and get more on Facebook as well as Instagram. I guess Thomas can attest to that, right? Otherwise, why would I be division APR manager?
Wow.
Nah, okay. This is just what I want to say. Because trying to build a social media presence, sometimes you need to be, how should I say? Try to be very present in very actively post up a lot of things. Even though you have nothing to post up, you can just post up a color chart to reflect on your feelings on that day. Who knows? So what I want to do is try to get the presence up, especially to build up the presence for my physical clubs and to get the presence, getting used to social media more and more. Thank you. Back to you, Angela.
Thank you so much, Shan Shan. That's very relevant to us and a call to action, which is what was recommended at the beginning of the evening. Can we now, from the timer, what was the time of that speech? Timer, Peter.
6 minutes, 18 seconds.
Right, so that was within time. Well done to Shan Shan.
Look at the chat group for the rest. I update in the main chat to everybody.
Thank you.
Yes.
Now, normally in a meeting you would have a minute to make comments, but I think we have to move on so we can all go to sleep at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. as usual. And we will now go to the presenter for our third speaker. Can I go back to Willie Lowe to get an update on?
Okay, the fourth speaker, Ramapio for Marine Parade Toastmaster Club. She's a vice president for education of the club. Can I have her to introduce herself?
Yes. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ramanpreet Kaur Bhatia. I'm Vice President Education of Marine Parade Toastmasters Club. I'm a chartered accountant by profession and a Kathak dance student by passion. But the most important role of my life is being a full hands-on mother to my two lovely kids.
Okay, thank you, Ramil. So his evaluator is Gerald Ong, because I believe there's some delay for error, so we need to keep the meeting going on. So Gerald Ong is now the evaluator of her speech. So Gerald, over to you. Can you tell us the purpose statement of her speech?
Purpose statement. Wait.
Introduce to mentoring.
Oh.
Toastmaster mentoring.
Okay, I don't have the purpose statement. I need to
Just
find.
do a Google. Just do a Google and you will see.
Or should I read the purpose?
Yeah, read the statement. Read the purpose statement for me. Wait.
Yeah, the
Okay.
purpose statement is present a speech about a time when being a prodigy, share the impact of having a mentor.
Okay, Ken, got it. I know what.
The title of my speech is Learning While Teaching and Teaching While Learning. Two sides.
And this is 5 to 7 minutes, is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
The same.
Okay, I'll give you a count to 3 and then you can start. 1, 2. Shall we wait for your evaluator to get ready?
Okay, I'm ready. Don't worry. I'm coming out with things on the fly, so don't worry.
All right.
Okay. Yes, I will listen as you speak, so don't worry.
Over to our speaker. 1, 2, 3, go.
Merry Christmas.
Show me a successful individual and I'll show you someone who was there applauding for her. I don't care what you do for a living, but if you do well, I'm sure there was someone cheering you on and showing you the way. Your mentor. Toastmaster of the Day, SG Online Club President, distinguished Toastmasters. A very warm and hearty good evening to one and all. Who is a mentor? A mentor is a very experienced member or a person who provides guidance and support to empower the prodigy to accomplish his or her goals. Recently, while going through an old Toastmasters magazine, I read about an article by Dana Lemon, wherein she described an incident while she was going to a Toastmasters convention meeting, and she had a fellow Toastmasters in flight who, on recognizing Dana Lemon, asked her that you are already a winner of World Championship of Public Speaking. You should have been in a professional speaking league. Why are you still in Toastmasters? To this question, Dana replied, and I was so elated when I read her reply. She said that I remain in Toastmasters because I have an obligation to repay what was given to me. I now have the responsibility to mentor the members of my club. What a brilliant statement. It sums up the importance of mentorship. Those of us who teach today were yesterday's students. Today's students would become tomorrow's teachers. And this process of mentoring has to go on to accomplish the very fundamental objective of Toastmasters, and that is excellence. Can we imagine Mark Zuckerberg, who is the CEO of Facebook, without his mentor, Steve Jobs? During a mentorship, both the mentor as well as the mentee or the prodigy, they learn new ideas. They see varying perspectives. They try and find out new ideas, new ways of approaching people, of approaching different topics, of approaching different situations. And this only makes the process of mentoring a rewarding experience, because it is an accomplishment from both the sides. But hey, hold on. I am a mentor. But who is my prodigy? Where is my prodigy? Again, we go back to the same question. Can we imagine the super mentorship of Steve Jobs without a studious prodigy as Mark Zuckerberg? Think about it. There is always something to learn from a supportive member who can, with a different or higher experience, who is willing to listen to us without any judgment. He's there to provide us the guidance. He's there to answer our questions. During the start of my Toastmasters journey about 2 years back, I did not know much about the mentorship. I did not ask for any mentors during the journey. And over last 2 years since I've been a mentor, I realized how important it is to have a mentor, because people who generally go without mentors do not achieve that greater success, because it is the mentor who may bring out, with his experience, may bring out the least hidden talents in our journey. Ladies and gentlemen, today I can say that I have been blessed to have very effective mentors throughout my life. My mentors who have shaped my life and helped me carving my personality into the finished product that I am. I recall back my geography teacher, class 7. She once scolded me very badly in front of the whole class for my lack of interest in the subject. But then later on, guiding me, supporting me, motivating me to have achieved the higher levels of academics, as well as laying a strong foundation of discipline, perseverance, and responsibility, which has shaped my life structure strong and sound to face the challenges of the world. Why you singled me out for the extra lessons, I don't know. You saw potential where I saw none. And you had not stopped till you have risen it to flame. There's only gratitude and thank you to my Kathak teachers who has taught me that it's not only being a beautiful and good dancer, but it's a good human being which makes you a good dancer. The biggest mentor of my life, my father. And last but not the least, all my Toastmasters mentors who have helped me. They have been my indirect mentors as they have helped me with the evaluation and feedback that they have provided. So friends, I urge you, just enjoy the journey, be a mentor, be a good prodigy. And I would just conclude with a beautiful quote by Julie Borden, which says that, made of metal, but the ladder of success is a network of interlocking hands. Those on the upward climb make it to the next rung thanks to an outstretched hand, and most of these hands belong to mentors. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Roman Preet. That was the most exciting speech.
Thank you.
Very relevant to all of us in Toastmasters, and I hope to people all around the world who've had teachers. Very good reminder. One follows the other.
Thank you.
Okay, the next speaker is Angela. Angela is doing for the Better Speaker series number 5, selecting your topic. The timer is 10 to 15 minutes. So, okay, for Angela is open evaluation. So everyone, I will choose 3 persons to do an open evaluation. It's not, there will be no dedicated evaluation because there's no purpose statement in this speech. Now I pass the stage to Angela. You can start.
Thank you so much, Willie. Impromptu speaking, that is the topic. Impromptu speaking. Now, we all do impromptu speaking every day. We don't think about it until we miss an opportunity. There must be many times when you've met someone and afterwards been told that you were talking to somebody and you didn't realize how important they were. It's happened to me at weddings, it's happened to me all over the place. And afterwards you think, oh, if only I'd said such and such a thing, or why didn't I introduce myself better? Now, my memory of somebody who was a master at impromptu speaking was when I was a student and I watched a boy who I knew who was not particularly handsome, not particularly well dressed, didn't look anything special, and he would walk right round the room and chat up every girl in the room and come away with dozens of phone numbers and dozens of dates. And everybody used to look at him and think, what has he got that we haven't got? He had the art of impromptu speaking. And I asked him about it later, and he said it was very simple. He would go up to a girl and look at her and pick on something that she was wearing or carrying, or some feature of her that was interesting, such as, you have a beautiful handbag, and then start discussing it. And he said, however plain and ugly and boring you think somebody is, you can find something that you have in common with them. Now, impromptu speaking is not just for getting a date when you're a teenager. It's also for quite important things. You have the impromptu speech, which is known as the elevator speech. And I find this happens to me all the time. I literally get into an elevator at the apartment block where I live, and I get talking to people. I say, which floor are you going to? Oh, what are you carrying in that bag? Have you been shopping? Where are you going? And then I say, oh, I'm going to Toastmasters. And then I talk about my Toastmasters group and try and suss out whether they speak good English, whether they would like to speak better English, whether they would like to come along. Impromptu speaking is something you can do all the time. You're always selling yourself, or you could be selling yourself or something you want to promote. And I'm sure you've met people who are very irritating because they're always trying to get you to join their organization, which you don't necessarily want to join. It could be their religion, it could be their political group, but they have got this policy of always talking about it. And people tend to veer to the two extremes. There are those who talk non-stop about what interests them, and those who never say anything about anything and who are really hard going. Now, when you come to do impromptu speaking at Toastmasters, you are given an opportunity, usually twice in the meeting. The first time you're asked to introduce yourself. You'd think this is a pretty simple thing to do. Well, for me, it's a challenge because I have two names. I have my name before I married when I started writing my books under the name Angela Lansbury, and I have my married name, which is used by my doctor. So I always, if I'm not careful, I hesitate. People say, what's your name? If I'm at Toastmasters, I know my name is Angela Lansbury. If I'm in a writer's group, I know what it is. Now, I've noticed a lot of people are familiar with their own name and they say it too fast. The same thing applies when they're introducing their company. Now, if I phone up Marks and Spencer's and somebody says, this is Marks and Spencer's, I know I've got through to the right company. If they say, this is Marks and Spencer, I think, what? Have I rung the right person? Have I got a crossed line? Who is it? A lot of people say their own names equally fast. And even this evening, I've heard people say their own name, somebody else's name, or the Toastmasters club they belong to. And I've had to listen to hear it a second time to be sure what it was or to look at the spelling. So the first thing you need to know in impromptu speaking is how to introduce yourself. So for example, if I say my name is Angela Lansbury, it will click much better than if I say my name's Angela Lansbury. Then you can also talk about your name and the origin of it. Often when I'm trying to remember somebody's name, I ask them, what is the origin? And they might say, it's Sanskrit, or it's Latin, or it's Hebrew, or it's Greek, or it's Arabic. And then I ask the meaning, and then I ask the spelling, and that helps me remember it. Now let's go back to Toastmasters. Let's assume you've introduced yourself and people know who you are, which is important in a contest because you want them to vote for you. A lot of people say they're afraid of impromptu speaking because they don't know what to say when given a random subject. Subjects are not as random as you think. Now we do have one person here, Mr. Turkey, who often gives you random or difficult subjects, but most people are not that inventive. The general impromptu speeches you're given are on everyday subjects, seasonal subjects, for example. Even at a Toastmasters meeting, you will get the same subjects again and again. You'll get, what do you think of Christmas? Or what did you do for Christmas? Or how will you spend Christmas? Or what was your best Christmas? Or what would you buy for a Christmas present for someone you loved? Or if somebody wants to be awkward, what would you buy as a Christmas present for someone you didn't like? I've heard. So when you're going out, you're not always giving an impromptu speech. You know you're going to be asked, what is your name? Where do you live? What do you do? And what are you doing for your holidays? And where did you spend your last holiday? Are you married? Do you have children? So on and so forth. And you can decide in advance what you want to say at the next meeting you're going to. Are you trying to reveal things, conceal things, Or do you want to meet particular people and ask them particular questions? So when giving an impromptu talk, the first thing you do is listen to the question. When I went to writing courses, which I do every year, twice a year, we are sometimes taught that when you construct a sentence, the important words are the first word and the last word. And one of the reasons why you don't end with a small word like to, this is something up with which I will not put, is because put is not a useful word. You might say, this is something which I do not tolerate, or this is something which I hate. So you end on the emphatic word. So the first thing you do when you're given a table topic or impromptu talk is to listen for the vital words and to pick out the ones you want to talk about. And the same applies when you're talking to people. You listen to the words they're using and you pick on a word. If they say, oh, I live in central Singapore, you might say, what do you like about living in the center? So you picked on the word center. Then you pause so that people have a chance to think about what you've just said. They may want to think about when they've had this experience. Then you might want to confirm what they said or what you have said. Then you might want to tell a story. So can I tell you a very quick story? I met a multimillionaire and I didn't say to him what I wanted money for or what he could give money for or ask him about what he gave money for. I did find out what he gave money for. He gave money to the local church to repair it, to ingratiate himself with all the local families. So that was interesting. But I only found that out by accident. If I were going again to meet such an important person, I would have a series of questions in advance. So finally, strategies, may I tell you, express an opinion, talk about cause and effect, break your topic into components, talk about the past, the present, and the future. And I will show you the last slide I have here, which says, be confident, be brief, and be sincere. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, come back to me. And if you want practice in impromptu speaking, I'll give you some topics. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Angela. Okay. Now I will start the poll so that you can vote for the best prepared speech. Two more to go. 2% have not been voting, or people who are on mobile will not get to see the voting. Okay, one more to go before I close the meeting. Yeah, close the evaluation. Okay. One more minute before I close. 1, 2. Okay. Now on the screen, you should see who's the best prepared speaker. It's probably again. Okay. Since we, okay, now it's 10:56 p.m. We'll have a 10-minute break and we come back at 11:10 to start the speech. Recording will be paused.
Private video and I send you lah. Oh, okay.
Start.
Okay. Maybe show the question again so the audience will know the context or something like that. Do you want to do that? Show the question so the audience will know the context.
Uncle Kaki.
Okay, it's question 3, like what I recall. The turkey was frozen stiff in the winter season. Would you become the frozen turkey? Enchanting evening, ladies and gentlemen. The turkey was frozen stiff. And why was the turkey frozen stiff? One reason, because it wasn't adaptable. It is not able to adapt to the different change in environment. And ladies and gentlemen, in life, we should be adaptable. We shouldn't be like the frozen turkey. Let me give you an example. Let's say we fracture our arm, or we have a busy schedule, not able to come up with speech, or we feel that our club meeting has too many speakers and we are not able to have any speaking slot. You have to be adaptable. You have to join Singapore Online Toastmasters Club. Right, Willie?
Yes.
Yeah, and that is one way to be adaptable in Toastmasters itself. And not only in Toastmasters, in other areas of our life, for example, during work, right? We have come across a problem or we come across a new task where we require some skills that are out of our domain. We don't understand what to do it. And that's where you can be adaptable and start to ask your seniors who have the experience, learn from them, or go for courses or go do your own research so that you can equip yourself with the right skills to tackle that challenge itself. Always be adaptable. And of course, when we want to be adaptable, we have to be adapting for the better, not adapting for the worse. And how can you adapt for the better? I have this framework. I call it the AAAAA framework. Why is it the AAAA framework? The first A, you have to acknowledge that changes are here. And that's why you have to adapt accordingly, or else you will be at a disadvantage. And the second A is to assess and ask yourself, how can you adapt for the better? What are some things you have to do? What are some ways you can refine so that you can survive this change itself? And after you've done your research, action. Take massive action. And take massive and immediate action so that you can immediately change and follow the wave along with it. And after you take action, that's where you still have to have an after action review, because you want to see whether the implementations are right, the implementations make you better throughout the adaptations, and if it makes the situation worse or it does not improve the situation, that is where you repeat the process, assess and ask yourself again, how can you go further? But of course, the most important thing, the first thing is the awareness and the acknowledgement. All right. And this is important even in the current context, especially in a job scope, because we know that technology is taking over. Some of our jobs will eventually be phased out, be it in sales or in accounting or in logistics. And that is where we need to come up with new ways to adapt and adjust accordingly so that we will not phase out. But the important thing is definitely be aware. So ladies and gentlemen, be aware, adapt accordingly, take massive action, and that's how you will not be frozen like the turkey. Thank you.
Thanks, Thomas. Hand over the meeting control back to Angela.